Good evening. We've reached that stage of the Premiership where the season can be made or broken. No matter who you support, the tension begins to show. And if you manage a side in the bottom three, the pressures really build. Our main game tonight sees Paul Jewell's Bradford take on Graham Taylor's Watford. Danny Wilson's nerves have been stretched to the limit just lately. Could Wednesday score a political point or three at Tottenham? We'll see two sides with other concerns as Villa and Chelsea chase top spots. And we'll have the best of the action and all the goals from the days of the game. Alan and Trevor have survived the pressures for years. Now we start tonight with two of last season's promoted clubs. Bradford City and Watford, though, have struggled to adapt to life in the Premiership and are both languishing in the bottom three. John Champion was at Valley Parade for this game that neither side could afford to lose.
The Premiership is a hard school where survival isn't guaranteed by mere diligence. And in the shadow of J.B. Priestley's seat of learning, Valley Parade is experiencing a collective intake of breath as these teams limber up. Bradford, the Premiership's lowest scorers, have spent the week in fruitless pursuit of a striker. Their leading scorer Lee Mills was injured in training on Thursday, so Dean Windass is given a chance alongside Dean Saunders. Manager Paul Jewell is keen to freshen things up. Wayne Jacobs returns at left back, and Gareth Wally starts in midfield for only the second time in 4 months. Watford have already invested in forwards. Helgeson and Gravelane are given a chance to impress again. Richard Johnson has succumbed to injury, allowing Micah Hyde to return from suspension. Neil Cox is also back as the search continues for a turnaround in fortunes. Watford, in their change kit of white shirts, have the Premiership's most porous defence. Bradford are harder to beat at home than Liverpool or Leicester, but they don't win too many times here. That's their major problem on home soil. It's a fairly chilly afternoon in West Yorkshire. There's a slight breeze, and in charge of proceedings from Halstead in Kent is Paul Alcock. He's won by Weatherall. Charlie Miller. Helgeson causing problems for Weatherall. Now Des Little. Space opening up inside for him. A player who's hardly been a regular in the Watford team this season. He's very close to scoring a rare goal against Liverpool with a volley. It was just over the bar last week. And that's his early marker today. Windass. Jamie Lawrence. It was Perpetuini that made a rather untidy tackle. And it's a throw-in. They show too much of it to Jamie Lawrence, who has a chance. The block by Chamberlain. And Perpetuini doing his utmost to get it clear, and he's been fouled. First clear chance of the game falling to Jamie Lawrence, who's never scored a goal in the top division of English football, neither here nor in his time with Leicester. Palmer. Flag is up for offside. Referee hasn't seen it yet. Still up on this near side. And play is allowed to continue. Now it's gone down. This is Lawrence. It's worked out in Bradford's favour anyway. Haller. McCall. Doing very well to get past Robinson. And then Windass. Well, it was all down to the dogged pursuit of the ball by the captain, Stuart McCall. Robinson was a clear favourite to deal with it. Lost it to Stuart McCall, and Windass first time at the near post. Maybe slightly disappointed not to have forced a save from the goalkeeper. Improvisation. Certainly in the stands, we could do with some on the pitch. Windass, Lawrence. Windass, Saunders, Windass trying to get there, the referee says penalty! Paul Alcock was a fair distance away, but the Bradford player Windass was the filling in a rather untidy sandwich. Page and Robinson, the two defenders. I would also have to add that Mr. Alcock didn't have the best of angles, but he was unequivocal in pointing to the spot. But Des Little has said a word or two too many, and he's going to be cautioned. So much riding on this game, even at this relatively early stage of the season. Peter Beagrie got quite a reputation from the penalty spot last season. Successful 6 times. He's already equalised in the last minute against Sheffield Wednesday from the spots. And now, cueing the traditional cartwheel, he's put Bradford in front in this most significant of games. Wasn't a great penalty, but it was good enough. Once Chamberlain had committed himself to his right, Beagrie went left and was right. Now Clark having to dive bravely at Gravelin's feet. Matt Clark's form has been an outstanding feature of Bradford's season. Page. Haller. Miller. Robinson. Helgeson. Graveline had adopted an intelligent position. And back it goes to Helgeson. And Micah Hyde! It's 1-1. And the lead lasted only 6 minutes. Really good interplay between the two relatively new strikers, Helgeson and Graveline. The Frenchman seeking out the Icelander, and Micah Hyde, like a good midfield player, attacking the edge of the 6-yard box. Undoubtedly the best move of the match, bringing the equalising goal. Suggestion of a smile on Graham Taylor's face. McCaw. Windass. And here's Gareth Wally. Saunders ahead of him. Wally has scored! No one went to meet him, and he was allowed to run and place his shot as he pleased. Saunders acted as a foil, and Gareth Wally let fly, hit the inside of the post and saw the ball ricochet into the opposite corner. Should Alec Chamberlain have got there? He will feel that maybe he should have done. It was the bounce of the ball that defeated him more than anything else. Gareth Wally making only his second start in the last 4 months. Allowed to run and run. Helgeson. Now Graveline. Very sharp. And fairly close. fact, very close, from Xavier Gravelin. We've had the stipulated 2 minutes of added time, and at half-time, Bradford have the advantage. There are one or two arguments going on involving Peter Beagrie, and Steve Palmer is lying flat on the ground, receiving treatment from the physiotherapist. A slightly unsavoury end to a well-contested first half. Steve Palmer is wanting to know why the referee isn't taking action over the incident that left him in something of a crumpled heap. It was Dean Saunders who seemed to go in with not a stiff arm, but an arm. And that was the cause of the unhappiness between the two sides as the players left the pitch. These are often fairly inhibiting occasions, these relegation battles. This hasn't been, and at half-time, Bradford have a slender advantage, 2-1. Tends to be the case that matches against companions in distress decide your fate if you're struggling in the nether regions of the Premiership. That is what makes this game, even though we're only in January, so very important. It's a fact that Paul Jewell and Terry Yorroth on the right there have been stressing to their players all week. Weatherall. Cox. Hyde. Little. Now Charlie Miller. And Gravelin! He is a really dexterous player, Xavier Gravelin. Whatever the height or angle of the ball that comes to him, he seems to have the answer. It was actually Gunnar Haller that played it to him. And Clark in the Bradford goal was rooted to the spot. Taylor began the season with half of the players who won the playoff final at Wembley for him unavailable. The situation, if anything, has got worse as the season's gone on. Freshened up by one or two new recruits. It's Bradford on the attack with Lawrence. Perpetuini. He's lost it to Windass. Did well to get across in there. Saunders! It's out for a corner. Dean Windass conjured a very good cross out of very little. The supporters at the Kop end of Valley Parade. Many of them have left their seats and are standing trying to suck this ball in. And it has gone in! Andrew O'Brien, the young centre-back, forward for the corner, scores his first goal in just a shade under 3 years. Peeling away off his marker, finding the space and the angle for a looping header. Four minutes into the second half, and Bradford can see some daylight. Watford presumably can see only darkness. Classic ploy by the centre-back at a set-piece. Neither goalkeeper nor the defender, Perpetuini, could halt it. One Premiership goal in the last 5 games, and now 3 in the space of an hour. Windass. Or Saunders. Confusion between Page and Robinson offered him the chance. He's had a really industrious afternoon, Dean Saunders. He deserves some more tangible form of reward than the odd assist here and there. Hyde. Robinson. Nice turn by Smith. Got the luck of the bounce. And Robinson. Double save by Matt Clark, who's down injured. And is in some trouble inside the 6-yard box, and the ball's still in play. And there's only a defender on the line. There's no goalkeeper. It was David Weatherall that got the ball away, because Matt Clark, in making that brave double save, has sustained what seems quite a serious injury. The second, the more impressive save, but you could see the agony on his face even then. First shot was from Tommy Smith. The second from Paul Robinson, and it was as Robinson followed through that the goalkeeper was injured. Bradford haven't had the best of luck with goalkeepers this season. Those that have played have done remarkably well, but Gary Walsh succumbed to injury first of all, and now poor Matt Clark has gone the same way. And on in his place is Aidan Davison, 3 times a Northern Ireland international. That's on for Saunders to chase, and he's clearly got the legs on Palmer. Here's a chance for Dean Saunders. The referee is looking for assistance from his assistant to confirm that Chamberlain got a touch. And it's going to be a corner. Steve Palmer contended that Saunders used his arm to control the ball. Beagrie with it. Weatherall. O'Brien. Decision goes Watford's way. And Gravelane is going to take this rather than being a threatening, brooding presence in the box. He's going to whip it in with his left foot. Helgeson tried to get the flick and expects the corner, but nothing more than that. That is a good one. Got the flailing punch from Davison. Micah Hyde. Page. And it's crept in! Only just, but Helgeson swung at it, and it dribbled into the corner of the net. No great power, but from fairly close in, just had enough about it to defeat Davison. For Bradford City, this would be a very significant victory, and for Watford, a very significant defeat. Bradford emerged victorious after a game of fluctuating fortunes. Bradford still are keeping their heads above the lapping waters of the lower regions of the Premiership. Plenty to entertain, plenty to talk about, and victory to Bradford City by 3-2.
Paul, how surprised were you when the winning goal was scored by Andy O'Brien?
Amazed really. He doesn't score many goals, OB, but I was pleased for him because he's been great for us this season, and to score a goal I was pleased for him. But I expected us, when we went 3-1 up, to maybe get 1 or 2 more, because we were playing quite well at the time. We missed a few chances, but you know, at the end of the day I think we deserve 3 points.
Does the penalty rankle with you?
What can it matter? I mean, you can't say. I mean, I think that you can't alter it. I mean, if it should rankle, it should rankle with the referee. I mean, at that time, he will make a decision that he sees to be right. He's made it from a long way away. The assistant linesman who's looking across the line doesn't indicate anything at all. And I think if we, kind enough to the referee and say, well, look, it's a hard decision to say that is a referee. And from the angle and the distance the referee has, you've got to be 100% right that was a penalty. Or what you do, you might check with your assistant. That's why the assistant is there.
My initial reaction was it was a penalty. But he was running in at a different angle to where I was looking, and there was 2 defenders either side of him, Dean Windus. And they give some they don't. But the referees, they're under a lot of pressure these days, and I think they need some help.
Can you remember a side coming from as far back as you are to stay safe?
First time for everything.
Very good answer.
We'll try.
Well, they provided plenty of entertainment, although the quality of defending left something to be desired. Trevor?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with the spirit of the two sides. At this stage of the season, yeah, they're both battling away. I think beforehand, you looked at the number of goals they've scored and you think, well, might not be many in this match because they both struggled to score in the Premiership. But in fact, we got 5 goals. It could have been something like 7-4. Bradford deserved to win. It's just, again, probably is a reflection of the defending rather than the quality of the attacking, I suppose.
And the first goal was a disputed penalty. We've heard contrasting views. How did you see it?
Well, to be frank, I think they were a bit unlucky, really, Watford, because it's one of those, if you look at it from a certain angle where Paul Alcock saw it, then possibly you can understand him, given he thinks there's a sandwich going on. Graham Taylor almost also made the point here that he thought sometimes his forwards were trying to play 5-a-side in their own half. Gravelane here tries a little ball through the legs of Weatherall, so they've lost possession in a dangerous area. It's knocked in. Paul Alcock, if you're watching there, is watching the plays quite a long way away from it. At this moment, Robinson's starting to lean on Windass, but in fact he doesn't give it then. He gives it when he thinks there's a sandwich, when he's bundled, in fact, into Robert Page. When we see it here, though, he's touched on, he actually then turns Robert Page quite well. Just got the wrong side in for a moment, but at this stage Paul Robinson, the other side, is just starting to lean. Then Windass goes down, he actually falls then into Page. There's not a sandwich or a bundle, then the ball's gone away from that, and I think the early contact is not sufficient to give the penalty, and and I think they were a bit unlucky then at that stage, although I do think Bradford deserved to win the game.
Yeah, it's a half century now for Watford. That's goals conceded. Any clues as to why?
I mean, apart from the 3 soft goals, there were so many opportunities. I thought when Bradford, you could have scored goals, and it is, I know, a team unit defending, but look at this. This is early on. They're 4 or 5. Jamie Lawrence bundles his way through, and there's 5 players within striking distance, but none of them actually got a proper tackle in, and he should have scored there. This is a goal kick. Watford should have possession. He's headed forward, and it's just knocked forward by Dean Windass. Again, Robinson and Page, they leave it to each other. Go on, after you. Dean Saunders nips between them. Just past the post, it could have been another costly mistake. Again, fairly basic sort of defending. They're exposed. It's their throw again. It's headed forward, goes to Dean Windass, hooked on, and Steve Palmer a bit slow on the turn. Dean he's not the quickest these days, but still got ahead of him, and then his touch had been better. He again should have scored. Again here, 3 against 1, Dean Windass. It's a good cross from Wayne Jacobs, but at this stage, surely this should be the defender's ball. He gets between the 2 of them. It's a free header. Again, the goalie wouldn't have had any chance had it been on target. There were too many of those. Bradford have struggled to score goals, and so I can understand against better sides why they're conceding too many. 50. They've had 2 successive promotions, so it was always asking a lot this season. I just think now, they're 7 points away from Bradford. They're at the bottom. I think really, it's going to be too much of a task to get back into it.
And Bradford?
I think they've got a bit of spirit. They're going to miss, I think, the goalkeeper, Matthew Clark, who played very well the last few weeks. He's out for 2 months with that knee problem. They've got some experience, though. Weatherall at the back, I think Stuart McCall played very well. Peter Beagree's got some tricks, and Dean Saunders is looking fairly sharp. So they've got the experience. I see this weekend they're linked with Stan Collymore, so that'll be a bit of a gamble. He's got a bit of money to spend before the deadline, but they're in that little cluster now, so they've got a chance. But I think, unfortunately for Watford today, was a defeat too many.
Okay. Anyway, that defeat for Watford meant that Sheffield Wednesday, with a point or better at Spurs, will get off the bottom for the first time since August. Though Tottenham had taken only 1 point from the last 2 games, they kept the same lineup for the 3rd time running. Wednesday's one change was the return of Nicholas Alexanderson, who scored in last week's victory against Bradford City, but missed Tuesday's cup win against Wolves. Simon Brotherton saw this one.
So for the first time this afternoon, Sheffield Wednesday have some defending to do. Anderton with the free kick. Everson's header, easily taken by Pavel Srnicek. Dangerous ball. Everson up well ahead of the defence. Well taken by the goalkeeper. Spurs again picking up the loose possession in midfield through Stephen Clements. Ginola is in space on this near side. Here he is now. Oh, he's hit the bar! Could be a chance now for Everson, and Srnicek had time to recover. Spurs so close to taking the lead, and maybe Ginola deserved better. The ball not coming down quickly enough for Everson. Sheffield Wednesday with a rare foray into the Spurs half. Zibon picking out Yonk. Alexanderson is in space inside the area. Here he is! And it's the classic counterpunch from Sheffield Wednesday. And Nicholas Alexanderson. Created by the 2 Dutchmen. Zibon first of all, and then Wim Jonk, and finished by the Swede. Alexanderson's 6th goal of the season. Edinburgh with the throw-in for Spurs. Finding Ginola, all of their creative movement coming through the Frenchman, as is so often the case. Here he is again. Carr drilling the ball in. Armstrong! That should have been 1-1. Carr's shot deflected back into the middle by Sherwood. Armstrong had the goal at his mercy. Spurs' home record has been good in recent times. 7 wins from their last 10 matches here at White Hart Lane, but they're still trailing by that 1 goal. Ginola tries to do something about it, and is denied for the 2nd time this afternoon. And Sheffield Wednesday at times are riding their luck. Now look at the space that Alexanderson has got to run into here, and suddenly Tottenham find themselves on the back foot. De Bilder is the player up with the Swede. Here's De Bilder now, and it was a rather tame shot, and the chance has gone. Fine build-up play by Nicholas Alexanderson, and De Bilder ought to have done better. Tottenham still probing, trying to find a way back into this match against the yellow wall of the Sheffield Wednesday defence. Here's Ginola picking out the Republic of Ireland international, Stephen Carr, who's looking for an opening and finds it. Oh, good save by Srnicek. Sheffield Wednesday's goalkeeper really is in fine form, and Stephen Carr brought the best out of him there. Well, Danny Wilson has been criticised from some unusual quarters of late, but his team are showing signs of a revival. The game really opening up in the latter stages, as Tottenham still find themselves paying for their lack of urgency in the first half. Here's Philip Scott, and here's Gilles De Bilder. Great chance! And the game should have been put beyond Tottenham's reach. Good build-up play again by Sheffield Wednesday, and De Bilder, poor finishing. The band still haven't missed a note. Ginola now for Tottenham. Everson with the header back. This could be their last opportunity. Oh, how close. It's not going to be his day. Forceful running, but the angle ever more acute.
As the game went on, I thought we passed it very well. We could have had a couple of chances as well on the counter-attack. We ruled out looking a couple of chances that went flying past the post from their point of view. But I thought the whole 90 minutes, I thought we was superb.
Yeah, I think we've had a great atmosphere all season really, but over the last couple of weeks it's been very good, and we definitely don't want to go down as some suggest. So from the players' point of view, we want to fight really hard to get out of the relegation. So.
At the end of a week when a lot of people were talking about your job, do you permit yourself an additional smile tonight of satisfaction? 3 wins in a week?
Not for those reasons, no. The only thing I smile for is the lads put in a great performance. What goes on off the park we have no control about, but people can voice their opinions, that's entirely up to them. But I mean, from our point of view, we'll maintain what we always maintain. We just got to win football games, and if anything comes with that, then fine.
Now, just a few weeks ago, Alan, you turned to me and you said no hope for Sheffield Wednesday. They've rallied.
It's amazing what a couple of victories can do for you. Trevor's talked about team spirit before. They've always shown magnificent team spirit. I think they're playing for their manager, who's under severe pressure from all angles. They've still got a lot to do, but I, for one, would be delighted if they did get out of trouble, because I think Danny Olsen's done a good job there, and as I say, he's been under severe pressure, and it'd be a lot of relief for him.
I think the Wednesday fans would prefer to hear you say no hope again.
Maybe.
So with 2 of the bottom 3 winning, the pressure was very much on Southampton to get something from their game at home to Everton.
While Southampton never seemed to be immunised against relegation, Everton have been shaking off the symptoms. But in this first half, only the spectators shivered. A shot from Don Hutchison was about as good as it got. The second half was different. A weak Everton clearance led to an opening for Joe Tessum, and the ex-Norwegian policeman took his first Saints goal in style. Not such a happy welcome to the Premiership for Steve Simonson, who was an early sub when Paul Gerrard was injured. The booing that had accompanied Southampton to the dressing room at half-time was long forgotten. Marian Pahars rode the enthusiasm but couldn't quite justify it. Never mind, Matthew Oakley took up the challenge, drove at the centre of Everton's defence, got lucky with a rebound, needed no extra fortune with his shot. With 8 unbeaten games behind them, Everton were stung to respond. Kevin Campbell's header was excellent, so too was Paul Jones' save. Everton came again. Richard Dunn's powerful run created an opportunity for Hutchison. This time Jones needed help, but Saints survived. Not only survived, went in search of a third goal. Pahars in particular sought to make up for earlier disappointment. In the end, he was frustrated again, but after 5-0 on Sunday, David Jones knew this was a good day.
All wins are vital, doesn't matter whether you're at the top or the bottom, and what we had to show our fans today was there was commitment there, and we've shown that. It wasn't the prettiest of games. We didn't expect it to be. We looked a little bit nervous, which is to be expected. But I thought the lads went out and showed they were brave and an honest bunch of players. And to keep a clean sheet after what happened 6 days ago is full credit to them.
Big win. Now, just over a month ago, Aston Villa appeared to be heading nowhere, but a run of 8 games unbeaten in 3 competitions has transformed their season. Today they came up against Chelsea, themselves undefeated for 7 matches. John Motson was at Villa Park.
Villa Park has been one of Chelsea's favourite grounds in recent years. They've won on their last 4 Premiership visits without conceding a goal, a sequence which started when Dennis Wise scored the winner here in 1995. Wise has also scored with headers in Chelsea's last 2 matches. But Villa's Ian Taylor can do better than that. His current sequence of 6 goals in his last 6 games is the best of his Villa career and helps to offset his less enviable record, the most booked player in the Premiership this season with 12 yellow cards. It was partly because he is 1 booking away from suspension that Steve Watson was left out last week with important cup ties coming up. He's back today though in place of Steve Stone, but otherwise John Gregory sees no reason to tamper with a side unbeaten in their last 8 games. Chelsea themselves are unbeaten in 7. George Weah and Emerson Tom were ineligible for the midweek cup tie, and they return with Jody Morris also in the starting lineup. Chris Sutton gets a recall up front as Weah's partner. Zola and Flo are on the bench. Petrescu, Desai, Ferrer, Di Matteo and Lasso are all injured. Alan Wilkie from Chester Street is in his last season as a Premiership referee, and he could have chosen worse January days than this to come to the Midlands. It's calm in as much as the sun is shining. There's a bit of breeze around, but quite bright. And two teams who've been recently putting a string of results together. Villa indeed have an important date coming up this Tuesday, the first leg of their Worthington Cup semi-final against Leicester, followed next Sunday by an FA Cup tie against Leeds. So it's a big week for Aston Villa. Chelsea, of course, play Leicester themselves in the FA Cup next weekend. Morris. Ware again. Onside. Oh, good play by George Ware. Oh, dear me. Spoke too soon. The former World and European Footballer of the Year worked his way cleverly into a shooting position, but then it all went wrong. Turned his man very nicely, but dear me. Both teams really looking to make the first proper opening. Just a hint of one from George Ware. Very close for Ed de Hoy. It was a back pass from Emerson Tom. Merson. Right. Carboni in towards Churchim. That was Tom again. This is right. Churchim. Still Villa have it. This was a little close for comfort by Ed de Hoy. Just about got away with it. Villa's crowds haven't been all they might be this season in terms of size, but there's an exciting time coming up for them. Ware coming in now. Oh, he's got away from Ehiog and George Ware. So close to putting Chelsea in front. He scored in his opening appearance against Tottenham, the Liberian, and he might have made his total 2 here. Now he's in the starting lineup. Slide rule shot, but just wide of the post. This is Merson. To his right. What a useful effort. That was floating in the wind a bit, and David James didn't seem to quite know where it was. John Harley from left back here just scoops one up with his left foot, and it's going over James, but well, it clipped the roof of the net. Churchim goes down, flags up for a free kick on the far side. Dennis Wise in the thick of it as ever. Merson has gone trotting across to deliver the free kick, and Southgate, who's been in scoring form recently, has gone forward to join Taylor and Ehiog. Well, they all slightly misjudged it. Ed de Hoy got fingers there. It's a corner to Villa. Southgate, Ehiog, and I think it hit Harley. Ugo Ehiog very close to putting Aston Villa in front from Merson's corner. Comes out to Gareth Southgate. Ehiog's shot, I think that's John Harley, who managed to divert the ball over his own crossbar. Southgate's there again. Now the game is starting to warm up. This is Barry for Villa. Now it's Merson. Something to occupy his mind, I think, at both ends of the pitch in this last few minutes. Here's Deschamps. Here's Wise. Good movement from Chris Sutton here. Here he is with the shot. Feels for handball right in front of the referee. Sutton is certain. Mr. Wilkie is certain it wasn't. Sutton, who was volleying a headed pass by Gustavo Poyet with his right foot, and it hits. Well, it actually hits Gareth Barry, but it might have been self-defence his arms were up in. It's on by Watson. LeBeuf needs to do something with it. He's found Tom, but Merson is quickly in front of the centre-back. Ball remains in play. Morris. Deschamps. And the end of a first half in which there was quite a bit of promise, but no great achievement. Chris Sutton recalled to the colours, thought he might have had a penalty when Poyet knocked the ball back to him here. The ball certainly strikes the arm or arms of Gareth Barry, but he might argue they were there in self-defence. Having said that, defences had the better of that period, which ends Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 0. "19-year-old Darius Vassell is on at the start of the second half for Aston Villa in place of Julian Joachim, who's not been feeling too well all week and has had a recurrence of that in the first half and has been replaced. So with a new man up front, Villa now playing towards the Holt end in the second half, and Chelsea don't need to be reminded that with 6 defeats already against their name in the Premiership so far this season, that's twice as many as in the whole of last. These are the kind of games that they've got to win if they're going to maintain any sort of championship challenge. The infringement was just inside the line. Taylor's trying to find a position in the centre, so is Ehiog. Oh, and there's the header, and so close. And there are players here on the ground. I think it's Steve Watson who's hurt. He threw himself into that, Watson. Merson takes it, and Watson comes in for a good firm header, not far away, but is injured in the process. Well, Watson is fit to continue. Emerson Tom. Boateng won that. This is Vassell. Oh, and he's caught Frank LeBeuf. And the follow-up shot whizzing over, but the referee was more concerned about LeBeuf there on his 32nd birthday. He sustained an injury. Vassell tried to work a little trick, a step over really, and in doing that, accidentally by the look of it, he made contact with Frank LeBeuf. Chelsea already have Desai out with injury. Jess Hoog, who himself has been injured quite recently, is coming on to replace Frank LeBeuf. Oh, it's a mistake by Barry. This is Ware. And now it's Deschamps to Poyet. Sutton out to Lambert. And the header was by Chris Sutton, leaning backwards. But he doesn't seem to be having any luck at all in a Chelsea shirt just at the moment. It's an awkward cross to get to, this, from Lambert. Sutton had to really twist backwards to make contact. looking here for Vassell. Now then, is he in trouble? There's nobody anywhere near him when this happens. He slides over the line and then, oof, something went. Forward by Delaney. Merson! Oh, that's the best effort of the match. Bearing in mind where he started. Merson, who as a boy, they always think, people always associate Paul Merson with Arsenal, but in fact, he was a big Chelsea fan as a boy. Comes inside the Chelsea defence here and fires one just too high beyond De Hoy's goal, but it was an effort really carved out of something he made himself. Defender is Emerson Tom, and he was nowhere in the picture. Barry. Well, yes, who protesting his innocence? Benito Carboni, who went down. Well, I think you've got to say foul, haven't you? Ehiog put it wide. Merson again, a lovely delivery. It beats all the defenders. George Ware, in fact, was the man who should have cut it out for Chelsea. But Ehiog should surely have put it away for Aston Villa. Delaney. Stone. Oh, Delaney again in stride. And hooked away by Lambourd. And here's Carboni. Oh, and Stone did well to keep his feet. I wonder what would have happened if Stone had gone down there. Because it may still work for Villa. It's Taylor, and he has gone down. And nothing given by Mr. Wilkie. And Wise has got up and pushed Taylor with his arms and insinuated that Taylor dived. Well, there are two. Oh, and then another trip. There's pushing and shoving in the area now. Merson trying to stop Wise. Wise is annoyed because he thinks Taylor was acting, but there were two players who went over in quick succession, and Mr. Wilkie has to sort a few things out here. This is Jody Morris on Taylor. Nothing given by the referee, and all the Chelsea players felt Taylor made too much of that. And Dennis Wise has said that Taylor should be penalised himself. Neither player, in fact, has been shown a card. I don't know if it's my impression that referees are already responding to the Premier League dictate to calm down a bit on cards, but Mr. Wilkie has been very tolerant today, and in my view, possibly for the better. Ehiog away from Ware. This is Flo again. Lambourd. Flo to Deschamps. Trying to get away from Boateng. Oh, and Ware is there! And David James! A fine save. George Ware got the touch on the ball after Deschamps had sent Boateng the wrong way. But James here just gets that long armour, corner to Chelsea. And now James comes all the way. Snatched from Merson by De Hoy. Well, it's a lively old finish, this. David James gets great credit here. It was going over him and under the bar. Here's Hoop for Chelsea to Tom. Wise tries to flick the ball on. It's George Ware here for Chelsea. Great save again by David James. Chelsea, who tend to come very late, have almost done it again. It may still happen. It's Flo. In by Deschamps. What a good stop again by the Villa goalkeeper. That's twice he saved them in the closing minutes, and each time it was from George Ware. Here's Wright. And now Barry. And Gareth Barry continues his run, and it's an excellent run by the centre-back. It was brilliant. If only he could have just picked out a player on his own side. Merson, I think he was trying to find, and it's the end of a match which ebbed and flowed. George Ware very nearly won it for Chelsea in the closing minutes, but David James foiled him twice. Villa will claim too that they had their second half moments. Ehiob headed one wide, Merson came close. It's Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 0.
Now, you've gone 9 games unbeaten. You've got a Worthington Cup semi-final on Tuesday, an FA Cup 5th round next Sunday. How big a period is this in Aston Villa's season?
Well, we play Watford in 4 games' time here at Villa Park, and we could either have 40,000 sellout or 12,000. I think that will tell you exactly how big the next 3 matches are. We could have made up some progress today, without doubt, in the league. Really, we should have taken all 3 points today.
Our priority is beating Leicester next Sunday at the moment. That's the next one. We just want to win as many games as possible. People are writing us off, and I know we're a long way behind, but if we win as many games as possible, we're going to be up there. We want to qualify for Europe, obviously. We want to win the FA Cup. We want to win the Champions League. We want to win every match we're playing.
George, how are you enjoying English football?
Well, so far it's getting good. And I'm very happy that I'm here in this match, and it was okay today, but I was just unlucky. But I think the team played very well, and I'm getting there. I think I'm gonna have a great time in England.
John, you obviously made a good impression in your early games with Chelsea. How did you come to join the club?
Well, I was at a school of excellence when I was 11, and I've just followed it up from there as YT, and now I'm a pro there. So
it must be a bit of a dream coming into a side with all these top-class internationals.
Yeah, well, I've always supported them as well, so that makes it even better. But yeah, it's enjoy. You know, if you're not playing, it's enjoyable just to watch them. So yeah, it's really good.
Starting his 11, he only looks 12 now, but we'll come to John.
Good player for 12.
Yeah, we'll come to him in a moment. But Villa, they've turned their season around. It looked bleak a couple of months ago.
You're right, it's exciting times for Aston Villa. They've got a big period coming up. But even when they're going through the bad patch, I always look at the team they can put out and the substitutes they've got, and you say, well, that's quality, it's got strength and depth, and as soon as they turn the corner, they'll be off and running. Today, I thought they were very, very good. They could have won the game easily. Taylor was a powerhouse in the middle of the park. Merson provided the quality up front. They just missed their cutting edge. It's ironic that they haven't missed Dion Dublin, but today all the chances came in the air in the box, and you know, if he had been there, it might have been a different story. But a good performance, and as I say, it's a big period coming up for them.
Yeah. As for Chelsea, I know you had a close eye today on yet another foreign signing for them.
That's the philosophy. If in doubt, sign another foreigner, but this is a quality foreigner, and I'll tell you what, he's been a great player. All right, he's 34, but he's just give them a little bit of variation in tactics. You know, right away, you can see that they're going to get the ball forward quickly, and they can still pass and move. But when you're playing against that, and you're playing against a bit of pace through the middle, you start to think as a defender, this is terrific play, good piece of movement, ball in. The turn is world class. The finish is absolutely abysmal, but we'll let him off because of the turn. Watch the movement here. Don't watch the ball. Just watch his movement. He hangs back, he holds it, and then runs across the defender. Good ball in, and a magnificent save by James. I'm talking about the ball forward quickly. How many times do you see this from Chelsea? Forward quickly, headed on, through the middle, and another magnificent save from James. The bit coming up is a collector's item. I haven't seen this in 10 years from Chelsea. Who would have believed it? A Chelsea player hitting the ball over the top. It's unbelievable. He's unfortunate because it didn't sit up right for him, but the skill in the turn is awesome, and he's a little bit unlucky. And I say he just gives them so many more options than they had.
Yeah, white boots don't look right, do they?
No.
Alan
But
Hinton could get away with it. He was a player.
You've got to be a player to wear white boots, haven't you?
Now, there was a glimmer of hope for the local lads. We heard him speak there. John Harley did well.
He was terrific. I mean, great left foot. I mean, typical Chelsea player. Fantastic in possession, as you would expect. Plays on the left-hand side. And all afternoon, the minute he got the ball, you could see great in possession. Great awareness here to turn around, first touch. And he's got the confidence to go. And this would have been a great goal. He sees James off his line. And I tell you, that is so close. And how's about this for a drag back? Oh, see you later. Off you go. And when he's in possession, he never panics. He never gets flustered. He gets it wide in the left here. And he just waits for the right option to come. Looks up, good ball inside, and Chelsea are off. And defensively, well, not bad. How about this for a block coming up? He's on the near post. He comes off it a long way here. Gets in the middle of the goals. That's right in the back of the net. It's a great block. And he looks an exciting prospect. And it'd be good for him, and I think good for the English game if Chelsea would give him a run. But that's a maybe.
Left-sided English player, a rarity. Now, our next match features two sides who haven't won in the Carling Premiership for 2 months. Leicester City met West Ham at Filbert Street.
Now, just what is it about Filbert Street and goalkeepers? Shaka Hislop was injured even before kick-off today. After a quiet word with his coach Les Sealey, he was given the go-ahead to start. As was Paulo Wanchop, a striking £3 million summer capture from Derby, but suffering a barren winter. Well, he started putting that right today. His first goal since November, West Ham in the lead. Contrary to the current trend, with an eye on some big cup ties to come, Leicester fielded an even more makeshift side than of late in the league. Emil Heskey still ended his own goal drought to bring them level. Cue Shaka Hislop's early exit. Not for the first time, Leicester witness to a goalkeeping tag match. Craig Forrest, Hislop's deputy. But main focus today was to be on the forwards. 4 minutes into injury time, no less, and the rejuvenated Paulo Wanchop just couldn't stop himself. His second of the game from an almost impossible angle. Leicester almost responded, not so much through the back door as a back pass. Mark Keller, the culprit, but Emil Heskey unable to cash in. Meanwhile, Paulo Wanchop was on a roll by now, and he went hunting for a hat-trick. Almost. Now here we are, almost at the end of a West Ham game, and not a single mention of Paulo Di Canio. Well, here he is. And all of that without a vest. Suitably inspired, Di Canio centred another. This time, though, Messrs Arfexad and Gilchrist combined to deny him. Still, it didn't spoil his day.
Today we came here with a good concentration, you know, because our problem was in the past, we started very bad every time. So today, we really below, you know, before the game we say, come on boys, we have to start well, and we did.
Tell you what, that Brookings not stopped gloating since that result.
Quite smile of satisfaction.
Now, if Liverpool could win their 8th successive home league game against Middlesbrough this afternoon, they go within a point of the leaders, Leeds United. Liverpool's one change brought Vladimir Schmeitzer in for the suspended TT Camara. Michael Owen started again, but Robbie Fowler watched on crutches. Paul Ince was back at Anfield as Borough captain. The side showed 3 changes. In came Andy Campbell, Mark Somerville and Colin Cooper. At Anfield for us was Tony Gubber.
Jamie Carragher, picked off by Ince to Janino. Ince, no offside. It's Ince he'd looked to see. Oh, Paul Ince, he had a chance to make an impact on the game then. Paul Ince, he couldn't believe that he wasn't offside. Paul Ince clearly thought that he was offside, and he hesitated. He looked back. If he hadn't, if he'd kept going forward, he would have had a clear run in on Westerveld and that Liverpool goal. Schmeitzer gets the better of Fester. The ball wouldn't run for him. Here's Michael Owen. Pallister wins the header. Here's Paul Ince. This is Hamann. Berger. trying to wind up to unleash that left foot. Well, there are worrying signs here for Liverpool and maybe for England. Michael Owen already making signs to the bench that he may want to come off. Here's Robbie Mustoe. Here's Campbell. Juninho. Oh, it's a great touch by Juninho. It wouldn't come down quickly enough for him, but it was a touch from the sunshine of Brazil to put himself in clear space, and even the despairing arm of the defender couldn't drag him back. Caraha into Schmeitzer. Meyer arrived, but it was after the ball had passed the post and gone behind for goal kick. I wonder if Michael Owen would have been quicker. Schmeitzer resisting the presence of Paul Ince to get in the shot, which was always going wide. Berger. It was an excellent strike by Patrick Berger. Oh, Brian Robson must know how close his team are now to winning a valuable point. Gerrard. Meyer. Watched by Gary Pallister. That's a good shot. That was a good effort. It was going away from goal. Not a lot of angle to work with, but it was on target. It was dipping under the crossbar, and he did the save. Here's Matteo. A minute left, plus added on time. Berger, left foot. Oh, beaten out by Schwarzer, and somehow Borough had got it out. And there was a save there from Mark Schwarzer, which by itself deserves the point, which surely Middlesbrough are going to claim from a 0-0 draw. Berger wriggled free. He couldn't have hit that any harder. The follow-up shot by Danny Murphy was blocked by a defender.
Was your prime concern today to defend well and not to concede a goal?
Well, it was when you're getting beat 4-1 at home, and then also the run that we've been on, where I think we've kept one clean sheet in the last 12 games. I thought it was time for us to get back to basics and be a difficult side to beat. And with the experienced defenders I've got within the club, we should be capable of doing that. So the lads have took it off the training pitch and put it into the game today, and they've put in a good workmanlike performance.
You hesitated and looked back, thinking you were offside. There was no flag. If you'd carried on, you would have had a wonderful chance to score.
Yeah, as I said, I'm not going to say I heard a whistle because I didn't. I just presumed I was offside because I was in so much space. And I think if, I'm gutted really if you want to say, like I say, but at the end of the day, we're hanging now, we got a point. I think we deserve the point for the way we battled, and it's been a hard couple of weeks for us and the gaffer, and I think we deserve something out of it today.
Unfortunately, our two main strikers have been absent for most of the time, either together or one of them, and unfortunately, I think really we're paying a lot for that, because obviously they're two good goal scorers, and maybe today one of them would have done a good job.
Yeah. Neither of them available to you?
Yeah, I hope Michael won't be too long, but obviously Robbie will be not before mid-March.
Well, great point for Middlesbrough, but Michael Owen injured again. Grave concerns now.
Well, I think it's a dilemma for Liverpool, because do they think short-term or long-term? They're doing really well. They've got a realistic chance of getting into the Champions League, but I think they can only get in there with Michael Owen playing.
Yeah.
Now, do they bring him back after 2 or 3 weeks, or do they get to the root of the problem and rest him? I don't know what the answer is.
And England as well, Trevor. I mean, friendly coming up next month. Doubtful for that now.
Well, I can't see him being included. I mean, you've got to get to the problem. I mean, it's hamstring trouble. What, best part of a year? I mean, it seems to be. Is it a back problem? Related to the leg muscles? I mean, his whole game, depends so much on his acceleration and his pace. They've got to sort it out very quickly. But Kevin Keegan must be worried.
But what happens if he's fit in a fortnight, but they haven't really got to the root of the problem? Do you play him?
Well,
I think they will play him. I think to get the revenue generated by the Champions League is awesome, and I think they've got to play him.
And I think he should look long-term. Right, that leaves just 2 games to show you. Here they are, starting with Wimbledon against Newcastle.
The Toon tribe were hoping to turn Selhurst Park into St James's Park. In 9 previous away games with Wimbledon, Newcastle had never won. Neil Sullivan's save from Gary Speed summed up a first half of chances that weren't taken. Although Wimbledon had less of the play, they might have changed ground in the lead. Robbie Earle's pass was steered wide by Carl Leaburn. Given a second chance, the striker might have done better with his left foot. Probably Steve Harper wouldn't mind a second stab at his save from Alan Kimball's free kick. It knocked the ball into the net via Robbie Earle's knee. Mr Happy and Mr Sad. An equaliser was there for the taking when Kevin Gallagher released Kieran Dyer. He'll know how Carl Leaburn felt. And so Wimbledon wrapped it up with Kenny Cunningham's cross. Nobody disturbed Marcus Gale as he rose for an imperious header. Shearer and Ferguson never had such luxury.
At times we allowed him to win the first ball and we thought we're going to defend the second, because Ferguson, to be honest, when he's on form, there's not many who can match him. We thought we did that reasonably well and knew we'd have to break quickly, and thought if we can get cross balls into their box we might cause them a problem, and as you saw with the second goal, Marcus put it away very well.
Coventry had begun to think they'd never land Belgian striker Cedric Roussel for keeps. This week for £1.2 million. They did. Mark Poom, though, deprived him a celebratory goal today. At the other end, Dion Burton went even closer for Derby. Oh, the frustration. Derby are reintroducing Georgie Kinkladze slowly but surely to the English game. They introduced him at half-time today to add a little sparkle. They really needed a finish. Coventry haven't won a Premiership away game since last April, and when Steve Froggatt hit the post, one sensed they weren't about to improve on that today. But then, later, Kinkladze's free kick curled beyond the post. Victory was beyond Derby too. The points were shared.
Ivan Gaskell and Gerald Sinstadt reporting there. It was a good day for the top 3 despite none of them being in action. 4th place Liverpool could have drawn level with Manchester United and Arsenal, but saw their run of 7 home wins ended by Middlesbrough. Chelsea and Tottenham also failed to take advantage of the leaders' day off, with West Ham the only winners in the top half. Leeds play at Sunderland tomorrow. Manchester United and Arsenal meet on Monday. Watford prop up the table tonight for the first time after losing at Bradford. They replaced Sheffield Wednesday, who moved off the bottom after 5 months following their first away win of the season. Wimbledon and Middlesbrough both move above Newcastle. Bradford stay in the relegation zone as Southampton also picked up 3 points. But nevertheless, a big day for Bradford and for one of their biggest fans. Some people would do anything to get on the telly. Good night.